If you keep getting tire kickers and bullshit prospects apply, here's why and here's how to fix it. So it's likely that you have 3 problems. And before we get into it, let me just tell you that I've been through this when you are tirelessly putting out content, trying to connect with an audience, and then you get these low-level time wasters a lot of the time, but then when they're not there to waste your time, they make your life a fucking misery. I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt. So there are 3 problems. Let's talk about number 1. The first problem, and I think probably the most prevalent problem across coaches, is your content sucks donkey dick. The first problem is you're posting absolutely brutal content, and as a result of posting brutal content, you're getting brutal leads. So we can think of your content as, in this instance, the bait that we are using to fish for the fish that we're trying to catch. So if you wanted to catch a trophy fish, if you were going out, I don't know anything about fishing, so this analogy could go one way or the other. If you wanted to catch a trophy fish, I would guess you're not just going to go and find the cheapest bait you possibly can in the local fishing shop and hope for the best. You're probably going to work with the best bait you probably can. So the likelihood is shite content will get shite clients. Great content should, in theory, therefore get great clients. So the very first thing we can work on is how do we improve the quality of the content that you're putting out. I've literally just had a conversation before we started recording with Chaz about this, and the very first thing we discussed was both of us agree that quality in content will come as a product of quantity in content. Now, they're not mutually exclusive. I think people think, oh, is it quality or quantity? Which one do I pick? In the first case, I think you start with quantity. How much can you make? Just get used to making as much content as you possibly can, because what you're doing is you're expediting, fancy word for hurrying up, the process of getting better. If you wanted to get better at squatting, if you wanted to get better at benching, you can read about squatting and benching for as long as you like. You can watch people squatting and benching and review game tapes for as long as you like. But we both know, coach, the fastest way to get better at either of those skills is just to spend time under the bar. The same thing applies in content. There was years where I was worried about the quality of what I was making. And then someone once told me, just get out your own way. And the words were, and I can't remember where I heard this from, I've racked my brains for years, just ship it. Which was effectively, stop worrying about getting it absolutely perfect and just get used to posting content on a regular cadence. With that regular cadence, I went from posting 1 or 2 pieces of content a week to going live every single day for many, many months. Going live every morning on the way to work. Posting 5 to 6 decent, at that moment in time, videos a week. The quality came as a byproduct of me making more and more and more. The more videos I made, the better the videos I made got. Simple as that. Now, looking back on them, even the good ones back then were shit, but I'm sure I'll look back on this and reflect on this in the same manner going forward. If I was to wait until I felt like I was perfect at this, we'd never, ever, ever start. So just ship it's a writer downer. Get that in your book. Just ship it. Rather than waiting for the finished product, I think it was Branson or someone that said that. Waiting for the finished product, waiting for it to be perfect before you sell the product. Instead, just send the version that you have to the clients or prospects that you have, and then refine it as you go. And that's one thing that I definitely took from a background in consulting engineering. If you don't already know, I spent 10 years working in engineering for a living before I was a coach. And the way we did it was you started with, I did the drawings for the buildings, you probably know as blueprints. And when we were putting together those blueprints, we would have like the first sketch from the engineer would come to me and I would draw it in the computer in 3D. That would never, ever, ever, ever be the finished product. It would be the product that got sent out to the design team. So there's just ship it. They would all comment on it and it would come back with markups all over it and I would change it. And I got used to what I would call an iterative process, getting used to iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3. And with every iteration and revision, the finished product came closer to reality. The same thing is going to go for you making content. I'm not very good at making content, doesn't wash. I've said a couple of times this week to prospects, clients, you name it, that I don't think I or any other mentor or guide should ever be the one that convinces you that you should be making more content. Like, I don't feel like I should have to convince you that marketing your business is a good idea. I can help you with the iterations along the way. If you're making content already, I can say to you as the client or prospect, hey, look, this was good, that was better, maybe do more of this, maybe do less of that. Maybe if you add that bit in, we can make content better that way. But if you aren't making content because you're waiting to get perfect, no one else can help you. Like, you need to get active in your own rescue and start making the content and then make the content better. One-liner for you. Rather than trying to make the right decision, make a decision and then make it right. That's one to write down. Rather than trying to make the right decision, make a decision and then make it right. Rather than trying to make the right video, make a video and then make it right the next time. So just a tip on that one. So we've kind of covered number one is you're using shite bait to try and catch whatever trophy fish we decided we were going to catch here. Chaz, edit in a trophy fish. Google trophy fish and edit some in. Here are a selection of trophy fish. I've actually caught all of them using no bait, my bare hands. That's a lie, I haven't done that. But you want to improve the quality of your bait. Number one, think about improving the quality of your content. By doing so, the way you're going to do so rather is you're going to make more content. As you make more content, you're going to seek advice on that content. And as you seek advice on that content, you're going to rapidly iterate and make fast decisions to change things as you go forward. The coach that makes 365 pieces of video content in a year, for the sake of the example, is going to presumably increase the quality of their content 365 times more than the guy that made one video, you would assume. Point number two is that you're asking in the wrong way and you're asking for the wrong leads. So I think like the first problem that we see here is we've already said that you're using the wrong bait. The second problem is that you're asking in the wrong way and you're asking for the wrong people. A lot of the time coaches come to me and they'll complain that they are getting leads, rarely as many as they would like, but when they are bringing some leads in, those leads are a bad fit, pain in the arse, difficult client to work with, you name it, the coach is unhappy. The likelihood is there's something wrong with your messaging, marketing, and positioning. You're positioning it in a weird way that is aligning with weird people. So the likelihood is, I see a lot of coaches post a lot of them just training, like a video of me in the gym today. Here's me doing my workout. And in reality, like you can get away with a bit of that. I'd say that probably goes on stories. It's not that useful. Did I learn something? So I think what's important to differentiate here is defining what content is. Content, if I said to you, if I had a box, so here's one I made earlier. In this bottle, sponsored by March on this video. Thank you for sponsoring the video, guys. Really appreciate it. The contents of this bottle is the urine that I put in it earlier on that I will drink throughout this video. I don't do it because it's good for me. I do it because it's sterile and I like the taste. So with that, the content is the stuff that takes up the space inside the vessel. If the vessel is social media, content is just stuff that fills up space. We don't want to just fill up space. We don't want to just make stuff that fills the void of social media. We want to add value. We want to put stuff into social media that is actively valuable for the market. The coaches that come to us with the most successful lead gen of the most successful, like the accuracy in terms of they're bringing in the type of people they want to bring in, are the ones providing the biggest value to their marketplace. Full stop, end of story, closed book. Simple as that. So videos of you training, really, it doesn't tell me anything, and likely I'm not in a position to train like you yet. I think the other issue is that the language, the marketing, and the messaging is wrong. So therefore, you're saying things like, if you're struggling with motivation, click the sticker, hit me up, reach out, whatever it may well be. That might well be an angle. It's one I've seen many, many times across all the coaching discussions that I've had. When that's been the case, that same coach then comes back to me 6 months later and complains that all of their leads, or their now clients rather, are moaning that they're not motivated and need to be extrinsically motivated by the coach. Now, that's a tough burden to carry. If you've not been there already, coach, you will be there at some point when you have a client that just needs constantly motivated by you. That's a tiresome place to be as a coach. Now, if we just rewind back to what the messaging was from that coach, it was, if you are low on motivation, hit the sticker. So we marketed directly to people that don't have motivation and then complained that the people we acquired had no motivation. Doesn't seem to make any sense. So we need to be very careful about how we are using language in our content in order to pull the right people in. The risk here is that you see what someone else does, assume that that works because he or she looks more successful than you, copy it, and then end up with a bunch of tire kickers or low motivation people that are very hard to coach. So you need to be very careful about which problems you actually solve, which ones you want to solve, which ones you can solve, and then go after positioning your content in a way that makes sense. So it could well be that if you've experienced a dip in motivation at the start of the year, that's different to if you just have no motivation. So be very careful and understand that the words that you use matter a lot when it comes to positioning and marketing. So point number one was, in reality, your content's shit in the first place. Point number two is, the actual words you're using and the type of content you're making, again, aren't right for the type of leads that you want to bring in. Or, you know what, here it is, and here's the writer downer for this one. The content you're making right now is perfect for the type of clients you have right now. The clients you're acquiring are a direct result of the content you're making. So if you don't like the people you're bringing in, it's not the people's problem, it's the content's problem, which makes it your problem to fix. Point number three is that, to keep the fishing analogy going, because I'm such an avid fisherman, you're fishing in the wrong place. So if we want to catch a fish that can only be caught in salt water, going fishing in your local pond probably isn't going to catch the fish that you like. So you need to think about, where do your market congregate? Where do they hang out? Where is their place on the internet? For a lot of coaches, you know, they get this wildly wrong in that it's, let's just say, for example, you coach 20-somethings into early 30-somethings. So let's say you coach 25 to 35s. There you go. I might be wrong, but I don't think those people are on Facebook. So if you're posting all your content on Facebook and griping that you're not getting the leads, the likelihood is you're trying to catch a saltwater crocodile in the fucking local river and grumbling about it. So you need to be very careful. Understand that Facebook, it was scientifically designed for mums to share lost dogs in other countries. So what happens in Facebook in the UK is that mums share lost dogs in like Paraguay, which obviously is a big issue for us and we're likely to find. And racists. So unless your niche is mums who care about dogs, or racist mums who care about dogs, then the likelihood is Facebook's not your place. My point is this: where are your people on the internet? 20-somethings, TikTok all day long, no question in my mind. Moving into the slightly older bracket of 25 through 40, you're probably on Instagram. 40 plus, now you can start going and hunting for the racist mums on Facebook, because that's probably where they are. I think you just need to be very careful that you are putting the content in the places that they will see them. Equally well as thinking about a nice spread of the type of content that you're making. I said on a call to the clients this week, readers won't watch, watchers won't read, and listeners won't do either. So we need to probably cater to each portion of your market. First things first, where are they? Choose your platform. One platform for 1 year. That's what I would say to you. If you haven't dominated one platform for at very least 1 year, I mean better 5 or 10 years, you'd have no place moving to a second. So a lot of coaches will come to me and say, Matt, I was thinking about getting a TikTok account. What do you think? I'm like, well, how's your Instagram going? I'm not that consistent with it. What on earth makes you think you will be more consistent with a secondary platform? It's not going to happen. So pick 1 year minimum. Once we've done that, it's about really considering the type of content that you are putting out in terms of its format and medium. So we've spoken about the quality of the content and the messaging. Now we're talking about the type of actual media. Is it audio? Is it video? Is it written? Is it photographic? Because I'll tell you this about my psychology. If you post a really great photograph on Instagram with a long caption, even if that caption is split up into nice clean chunks of text, I'm going to look at the picture and I'll double tap it if the picture's nice. I will not, even if you pay me, read the caption, because I don't give a fuck and I don't really like reading like that. However, you can completely and utterly hijack my psychology by taking the exact same caption and splitting it into a carousel of images. I can't explain that to you. I just find it easier to read like that. Go figure. I don't know. There are some people that will like video content and will consume that. So you should be making probably carousel content. You should probably be making video content. And there are some people that do like, psychopaths like to read long captions. I would suggest those people are fewer and far between than ever before. And as much as you don't need someone else telling you, although you probably do, you need to make more video content. The change in the content landscape for 2025, as I see it, is people want longer form video content. Plain and simple. They want longer form video content. They don't want some lengthy caption that you're poor grammar and spelling, which there is no excuse for anymore, by the way. I'm the worst speller in the world, and there's plenty AI that will help me fix it. So just things to consider. So we recap on what these three look like is, number one, the content you're making isn't good enough, so therefore you're getting the content, your content is perfect for the type of people that you're bringing in. Number two is you're asking for the wrong leads, so you are marketing to people with low motivation, people that are severely overweight, people that are this, that, and the next, people that have never been in a gym before, and then moaning that your clients don't know what the chest press is, which is very difficult when you're working with an online market. So the actual messaging is wrong. Once we've got content right, then we've got your messaging right. And then point number three is, where are you putting that content and in what format is that content? Are you putting it in Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, podcast, YouTube? You need to pick one of these and just dominate. And then beyond that, it's a case of making sure that the format is right and you have a nice range of different things. Audios, visuals, written. Simple as that. There's your 3 points for today. Go enjoy. If anyone sees any lost dogs on Facebook, be sure to tag me because my mum will be wondering if she can help. Just as a finisher, I know you're probably watching this on YouTube, and I would assume with that, you like me coming in your eyes. If you'd like me to come in your ears as well, these are available on Spotify. So I can come in your eyes and your ears at the same time, or just one or the other, entirely up to you. I'll leave you with that. See you on the next one.